Divorced men. What happened when Plan B blocked her and you did not reply either? Story 1. I found out because my phone started lighting up like a slot machine at 1 a.m. First, it was a wall of messages from my ex. Please pick up. Can we talk? I messed up. Then came the screenshots. Apparently, her soulmate from the gym, the guy she swore was just a friend during our marriage, had finally told her he wasn't leaving his girlfriend. And when she pushed, he blocked her on everything. She needs someone. Then she wrote, I know I hurt you, but you know me. He doesn't. I need someone who really knows me right now. I stared at the screen. 2 years ago, I would have jumped at that line. I lost sleep over that guy, over all the late-night workouts, over the way she'd roll her eyes and say I was insecure. That paranoia ate our marriage alive. Now I was lying in my own apartment, in a bed I bought myself, in a life I rebuilt from zero. I had therapy at 9 a.m. The next day, a son sleeping in the next room after our dad and pizza night, and peace. Quiet, boring, beautiful peace. She kept typing. You were always my constant. I picked wrong. Please just answer. I'm outside your building. Yeah, that one made my stomach drop. I watched from the peephole as she sat on the stairs, mascara everywhere, clutching her phone like a life raft. She rang the bell twice. My son turned over in his sleep and sighed. I texted her sister instead. She's at my place. And then I archived the chat, locked the door, and went back to sleep. I can't be that person. Her sister came, talked her down, drove her home. My ex sent 3 more paragraphs that night about how Plan B had used her and thrown her away. How she finally understood how I felt. I read every word. Story 1. Story 2. We share a kid, so no contact was always messy. But that night I learned there's a difference between parenting communication and emotional CPR. It started in the co-parenting app we use. She wrote, Emergency, I need to talk to you outside the app. I thought something happened to our daughter. Then a regular text came in with a screenshot of Plan B's Tinder profile, already updated to single, no kids, no drama, with a totally new girl in his photos. She wrote, He blocked me on WhatsApp, Insta, everything. I don't understand. I left a marriage for him. How could he do this? You would never. The next message. Can I call you? Just as a friend. Please. 3 years earlier, she told a judge I was emotionally unstable because I cried in mediation when she admitted the affair. She tried to go for full custody with that. Her lawyer painted me as obsessive for not accepting her newfound happiness. Now that happiness had blocked her like a spam number. I typed out so many replies. I warned you. You didn't leave a marriage for him. You abandoned your family. How does it feel? I deleted them all. Instead, I opened the co-parenting app and sent one single official message. Is our daughter safe? Is she with you or your parents? She replied, She's asleep. I just needed someone. I needed you. That's when it hit me. She didn't have anyone. She'd torched friendships defending the affair, cut off her own mother for siding with me, and now Plan B had kicked the last chair out from under her. But I remembered sitting alone in an empty apartment, Googling how to co-parent when your ex is in love with someone else, while she posted beach photos with him. So I did nothing. The next morning she sent, Wow, he blocked me and you ignored me. Guess I deserve that. Then, in the app, drop off Sunday as usual, I replied, Yes, same time. That was it. No revenge speech, no closure talk, just boundaries and silence. The comments on this will probably argue whether I should have shown compassion. All I know is I'm finally not her emotional safety net. Story 3. My ex didn't crumble. She rebranded. She was the one who cheated emotionally for a year with her coworker. Daily lunches, inside jokes, hiding messages, before she finally admitted they were in love and wanted a divorce like adults. I signed papers, moved out, got my own place. 6 months later, they were posting couple selfies with captions about finding your true person. Fast forward another year. I'm in a bar with friends when a message pops up. Do you still think I'm a terrible person? No context. Then another. He blocked me. Just like that. After everything. Can we talk? I didn't answer. Honestly, I assumed they'd had a fight. 10 minutes later, she sends a photo of a positive pregnancy test and then another screenshot. Her chats with Plan B marked, You can't send messages to this user. She wrote, He says the baby isn't his. Says I'm crazy. He blocked my number, my email, even at work. I don't know what to do. Please, you're the only one who knows what I'm like when I panic. Old me would have rushed over instantly. I still loved the idea of the woman I married, not the person she turned into. But I also remembered her telling the mediator that I was controlling, because I begged her to give us one more chance. While I watched the texts pile up, a friend glanced at my phone and said, Dude, don't. You're not her husband, therapist, or plan C, so I didn't. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that she spun a new narrative. He abandoned me while I was pregnant, just like my ex-husband did emotionally. From what I know, she's raising the kid alone, still telling anyone who will listen that she just chooses the wrong men. But here's the unsexy truth. When Plan B blocked her and she tried to drag me back into that chaos, nothing happened. I stayed at the bar, finished my drink, went home to my Xbox and my dog, and let the storm pass without me in it. Sometimes the most dramatic thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Story 4. I was the villain in her version of the story for years. She told everyone I was cold, unaffectionate, married to my job. To be fair, I did work a lot. I was trying to pay for her grad school, the house she wanted, the Bali honeymoon she wouldn't stop sending Pinterest boards about. Then she met Yoga Dude, Plan B, in one of those he just listens to me classes. She moved out with a suitcase and a speech about choosing herself. 3 months later, they were living together in a studio with plants and string lights. I knew because she made sure our mutual friends saw it on Instagram. I went through the cliché divorced guy arc. Lost weight, got a therapist, learned to cook something besides eggs. Eventually, my life was fine. Quiet, manageable. Then, on a random Tuesday, she called. I didn't pick up. Text came instead. Do you remember when you said he only liked the version of me that was broken? You were right. I ignored that too. 2 hours later, a number I didn't know sent me a voice note. Her, sobbing, saying, he called me manipulative. Said I trauma dumped him. He blocked me after I asked where our relationship was going. I have nowhere to go. Please, just talk to me. I looked at that message for a long time. Because here's the messed up part. I did feel bad. I don't hate her. I hated who she became around him, and around the attention. I hated that when I cried during our last fight, she laughed and called it weaponized sadness. But I knew what would happen if I answered. I'd become emotional tech support, walking her through heartbreak she created by stepping on me first. Instead, I called her brother. She's not okay. She needs family, not me. Please check on her. He texted back a thumbs up and a thank you. In the days that followed, she posted long, vague stories about men who abandon you when you finally need them, and how karma always comes back. Some friends asked if I was okay, clearly thinking she meant me. I just shrugged. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply? She had to face a version of herself that had no one left to blame. And I finally got to live a life where my empathy wasn't treated like an unlimited subscription. Story 5. My story is probably the one that will split this comment section. I married my high school sweetheart. We were each other's first everything. That kind of history can make you blind. So when she started staying late at work to help a colleague with a project, I believed her. When she got secretive with her phone, I believed the "it's just girl chats, you wouldn't get it." Then I found the messages. Hundreds of them. Plan B was an old flame from college she'd kept as a friend. They'd been talking for months about how unseen she felt with me, how he never stopped thinking about that weekend. I confronted her. She cried, swore nothing physical happened. 2 weeks later, she moved out to get clarity, straight into his apartment. I broke. Took me a long time to exist without checking their socials like self-harm. Eventually, I blocked them both and moved on, at least on the surface. Fast forward a year and a half. I'm in a new city, new job, sleeping fine most nights. She still has my number because of some old two-factor logins we never untangled. One night I get this. He blocked me, after everything. He says I'm too much, that I complain too much, that I compare him to you. He said he finally understands why you left. But you didn't leave. I did. I'm so stupid. Please answer. Then another. I know I hurt you, but we had 10 years. He dumped me over text and blocked me. You can't just ignore me too. That's cruel. Here's where people will divide. I didn't answer because I didn't trust myself. I knew that if I heard her voice, those 10 years would start talking louder than the 2 years that destroyed us. I'd start minimizing what she did. I'd start thinking, maybe we could be friends. Or maybe we could try again now that she's learned. So instead, I put my phone in a drawer, went for a run until my lungs burned, and cried in the shower like a cliché. She sent a final message the next day. Got it? He blocked me. You stayed silent. I guess that says it all. Yeah, it does. What happened? Nothing cinematic. No revenge, no big speech, no second chance. Just a woman forced to sit with the fact that the man she betrayed and the man she replaced him with both decided their peace mattered more than her drama. And a divorced guy who finally chose himself, even when it hurt. Story 6. My ex left when our son was 8 months old. Postpartum was too heavy, she said, and she needed to feel alive again. Translation? The guy from her CrossFit gym finally showed interest. Within 3 weeks, she'd moved in with him. I went into survival mode. Diapers, daycare, double shifts. She saw our son twice a month tops, always with Plan B in the car waiting outside. She'd post pictures of them on road trips while I sat in pediatric waiting rooms praying his asthma wouldn't turn into another overnight stay. 2 years later, I'm up at 2 a.m. with a feverish kid when my phone buzzes like crazy. It's her? Please answer. It's important. Please, I need you. He blocked me. I have nowhere to go. Then screenshots. Plan B's messages saying he didn't sign up for a family, complaining she was always sad, ending with, I can't do this, good luck, and then the blocked screen. Next text. I know I failed you and son, but can I stay with you a few days? Until I figure things out? My son coughed so hard he threw up. I cleaned him up, changed the sheets, gave him his inhaler. My phone kept lighting up. Answer me, please. Don't be heartless. You always said you were my home. I typed and erased a dozen versions of no. Then I realized I didn't actually owe her a speech. I just owed my kid a stable house. We'd finally gotten there, so I put my phone face down and focused on counting his breaths. The next morning, her mom called. She showed up crying at my door. Said you ignored her. I just said, I have our son. He needs breakfast. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply? She finally had to knock on the door she'd slammed on her own mother, instead of crawling back to the man she treated like a spare bedroom. And my son woke up in a home that wasn't going to explode just because she was scared of being alone. Story 7. My ex always accused me of being too logical. Whenever she messed up, she'd cry, I'd try to talk calmly, and she'd scream that I had no heart. That line came back to me the night Plan B disappeared. She left our 5-year marriage for a guy from her office who understood her creativity. They moved into a loft and started a podcast about healing after toxic relationships. Guess who the toxic one was in all their stories? A year later, I was engaged to someone new. Healthy, boring, mutual respect. My ex found out through mutual friends. 2 weeks before my wedding, she texted me at midnight. He blocked me. After everything I did for him, I need to see you. Please don't marry her until we talk. Then, you can't actually love her more than me. We have history. You know me. I didn't answer. My fiancé was asleep next to me, curled up with our dog, wedding binder open on the nightstand. I just stared at them and thought about how peaceful my life finally felt. The texts escalated. If you don't answer, it means you never loved me. You're just proving him right. He said you were emotionally dead inside. I'm outside your place. Come out. I checked the camera. There she was, barefoot, mascara streaked, sitting on the curb with a half-empty bottle of wine. 2 years earlier, I would have run out, wrapped her in a blanket, taken responsibility for her feelings like always. Instead, I called her best friend. She's outside my building. I'm getting married in 2 weeks. I can't be part of this. Please pick her up. Then I turned off notifications and went back to bed. The next day, she posted some vague Instagram story about men who abandon you twice. A few people DM'd me asking if it was about me. I just replied, getting married in 13 days. I'm good. Heartless? Maybe. Logical? Definitely. But for once, my logic saved my life instead of her drama. Story 8. Mine is the group chat explosion version. When my ex left, she didn't just leave me. She left our entire friend group. She walked out of our 10-year relationship for a tattooed musician she met at an open mic. Plan B took her to festivals and posted her in every thirst trap photo. We became the villain in her Instagram captions. Sometimes you have to burn bridges with people who kept you small, so we let her burn it. We stayed quiet. One Friday night, our old friends group chat, the one she rage quit when she chose herself, suddenly pinged. Someone added her back. Seconds later, she started typing. He blocked me. He took my stuff, my laptop, my dog. I have nowhere to go. Everyone always sides with him. Can someone please talk to me? Even you, my name. Then she aided me directly. I know I don't deserve it. But could you at least answer? You always said you wouldn't let me drown. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I could feel everyone else in the chat waiting to see what I'd do. If I replied, it would immediately turn into, look, he still loves her. He's a saint or an idiot. If I didn't, I'd be cold. I thought about all the nights I'd cried to these same friends while she posted festival selfies. How she'd told them I was emotionally abusive because I asked her to stop sleeping at the band house. So I put my phone down, said nothing. One of our friends finally replied, you burned this bridge, not him. Call your sister. This chat isn't your life raft. She left the group again. Hours later, she texted me privately. You too? He blocks me. You ignore me. I guess I really am the problem. I didn't reply to that either. What happened? She finally had to hear the echo in a room she'd emptied herself. And the group chat went back to memes instead of being the stage for her latest tragedy. Story 9. We didn't have kids, so technically I could have gone full no contact the second the divorce was final. I almost did, but 10 years together makes your fingers stupid. I left her number unblocked, just in case. She dumped me for her travel buddy from a backpacking trip. Plan B was everything I wasn't. Spontaneous, artsy, anti-9 to 5. She said she was choosing adventure over stability. Cool. I chose not having panic attacks over wondering if she was just friends with him. A year later, I'm sitting on my couch watching some dumb sci-fi show when her name pops up. He blocked me mid-argument. Like literally, as I was typing. I can't access our shared photos, nothing. I feel like I don't exist. You would never do that to me. The irony almost killed me. She'd essentially done that to me emotionally for the last 2 years of our marriage. She kept going. Can we talk? Not about us. Just, I don't know. I have no one. That line hit me weird. Because the thing is, she had people. She just pushed them all away when they didn't applaud her affair. Her mom, her sister, 3 of our mutual friends. They all called her out and she labeled them toxic. I started typing, "You do have people. You just didn't like hearing the truth." Then I stopped. If I sent that, we'd be in a 3-hour conversation about both sides and owning our mistakes. She'd cry, I'd feel guilty, and suddenly I'd be shouldering the emotional fallout of a breakup I wasn't in. So I didn't respond at all. The next day, she sent one more text. "I always thought you'd be there even if everyone else left." That was my mistake, huh? I locked the conversation and archived it. That night, I went out with colleagues, laughed, came home, slept 8 hours straight. No drama, no panic, no late-night essays about closure. Nothing dramatic happened on the outside. Inside, I finally understood. Being the nice guy doesn't mean letting someone use you as their emotional backup generator whenever their latest thrill cuts the power. Story 10. Our story has a twist. I actually did see her message. In person. My ex cheated with a coworker, Plan B, who loved to flex his money. Designer clothes, flashy car, the works. She told me she deserved to be spoiled after years of struggle. I paid off her student loans and worked nights, but sure, I was the struggle. I moved out, hit the gym cliche, started therapy. 2 years later, I'm at a mall with a friend when I literally run into her. No makeup, messy hair, holding a cracked phone with a dead screen. She looked small. She froze. "I texted you," she said. I checked my phone later and yeah, there it was. A wall of messages from the night before. He blocked me. Kicked me out of the apartment. Said I used him for money. He took back the car. I don't even have enough for a hotel. Can we talk? Just talk. In the mall, she tried to recreate that message with her eyes. "I have nowhere to go," she whispered. I thought if anyone would understand what it feels like to be tossed aside like that, it'd be you. For a second, I flashed back to the night she told me she'd never really been in love with me. Just comfortable. The way she packed her bags while I begged her to stay and she looked bored. So I said the only thing I could that wouldn't drag me back into that hell, "I hope you find help. But it can't be me." She flinched like I slapped her. "Wow," she said. "He blocks me, you ice me out." Guess I really picked the wrong people. I corrected her. "No, you picked the wrong person twice. Him and the version of me who would have saved you no matter what you did." Then I walked away. Later, I muted the conversation and never opened her messages again. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply? For the first time in our entire relationship, the consequences didn't bounce off me and hit someone else. They stayed right where she'd thrown them. Story 11. My ex-wife left our small town like it was a burning building. She'd always said she was meant for more than PTA meetings and potlucks. And when some marketing guy from the city started visiting her store as a client, I felt the shift. Suddenly, she was commuting 3 days a week for work, coming home smelling like hotel soap and expensive cologne. 6 months later, she sat me down and said the line I'll never forget. "You're a good man, but I need a big life." Plan B promised that. Fancy dinners, downtown loft, networking events. I signed the papers, kept the house, and went back to coaching Little League like my life hadn't just been torn in half. A year passes. I hear rumors that City Guy has cooled off. She posts fewer pictures. One night, around midnight, I get a string of texts. He blocked me. Out of nowhere. Deleted our photos, removed me from the company's Slack, even told HR I was harassing him. Everyone at work is acting like I'm crazy. They all knew he had a fiancé back in another state. "Please, can I come over?" Just to talk. I don't want to be alone in this shoebox apartment. I put the phone down, walked to my son's room, watched him sleep. He still asked occasionally when Mom was coming back from the city, and I always said, "She loves you, even if we don't live together." Back in my bedroom, the messages kept coming. "I know I hurt you, but you know me. You know I'm not this monster they're making me out to be. Please, my name. If you ignore me too, then what was our whole life even for? I typed out a reply about how our life was for something. A kid, a family, roots. Then I deleted it. Because I knew if I opened that door, she'd walk in with all her chaos and blowtorch my stability again. Instead, I turned my phone off. The next morning, I called her sister and said, "She's not okay. She might need you, but she can't come here." Later, a mutual friend told me she'd checked into her parents' basement and was telling everyone I'd abandoned her when she needed me most. In this town, some people bought it. Others watched me show up for every game, every parent-teacher meeting, every snow day, and quietly did the math. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I stayed silent? For once, the good man she'd outgrown let her feel the size of her own choices without cushioning the landing. Story 12. We were the church couple. Met at youth group, married at 21, 2 kids by 26. To everyone else, we were the picture of Christian family values. Then she joined a Bible study led by a new guy. Recently divorced, guitar, tattoos, broken but healing. He cried when he gave testimonies. She ate it up. It started with late-night prayer sessions I wasn't invited to. Then came the messages I wasn't supposed to see. I wish my husband understood me like you do. You make me feel seen in a way I never have. 6 months later, she tells me God is calling her to a different path and that our marriage had been dead for years. 2 weeks after moving out, she's living in Plan B's rented house, posting couple selfies with worship lyrics as captions. I stayed with the kids. They stayed with the narrative that I was cold and spiritually distant. 18 months go by. I keep my head down, get the kids to school, pay bills. I stop going to that church. They can have their performance. Then one night I wake up to my phone buzzing nonstop. He blocked me. Said we were living in sin, that God convicted him. He moved back in with his ex-wife to restore his covenant. He won't answer any of my calls. I don't understand. My name. He said I was his blessing. Now he's saying I was a temptation. I keep scrolling. I know I broke our vows. But you know my heart. You know I did it because I felt so empty. Can you just talk to me? I feel like I'm drowning, and God is silent. For the first time, I realized I didn't actually know her heart anymore. The woman I loved wouldn't have weaponized God to justify an affair. This version of her prayed with a man while planning how to blow up her family. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I could already hear the comment section on this post. You should forgive her. She dug her own grave. Think of the kids. In the end, I thought of the kids, their bedtime routine. The way our daughter clung to me the night her mom left and asked, "Did we do something wrong?" So I didn't respond. I screenshotted the messages, put them in a folder, and called my lawyer the next day to adjust boundaries in our co-parenting agreement. Communication strictly about the kids through an app. At church, some people still whisper that I'm hard-hearted. Others watched her walk in alone one Sunday, sit in the back, and leave before the last worship song. What happened when Plan B ran back to his first covenant and I didn't rescue her? She finally had to look at the altar of attention she'd been worshiping, and I got to stop being the sacrifice. Story 13. My ex-wife is an immigration lawyer. Ironically, that's how she met Plan B. He was her client. Charming, handsome, big family back home. Dramatic story about needing a visa to pursue his dreams. She swore nothing happened while she represented him. But friends noticed the late nights, the glowing way she talked about how brave some clients are. After his case was approved, she told me she wanted a separation. 3 months later, they were official. She framed it as some epic love story. She helped him get a new life. He helped her find herself. I became the boring husband in the background of her narrative, the one who never understood her culture obsession. Fast forward 2 years. She's living in his shared apartment with 3 of his buddies, posting boho photos and immigrant love story captions. I sign the divorce papers, get the house, keep my head down. Then, at 3 a.m., one night, my phone buzzes. He blocked me, packed his things, moved out, and blocked me after I co-signed the renewal of his lease. He says now that he's settled, he doesn't need someone so controlling. He told his friends I'm just some stupid American woman who fell in love with a story. It gets worse. He said marrying me was just insurance, that he paid his debt and doesn't owe me anything. I feel like I've been conned. Then, I know I hurt you. I know what I did with him destroyed your trust. But you're the only person who understands how this immigration stuff works. Please, just talk to me. Help me figure out my options. That was the moment my therapist's voice popped into my head. She's used your competence as an emotional service. You are not her free legal hotline or her emotional public defender. And legally? She was right. There wasn't much she could do. Emotionally? She'd just discovered that being someone's stepping stone doesn't make you their destination. I put my phone on airplane mode and went back to sleep. The next day, she emailed, formal, stilted. Apologies for my messages last night. It was inappropriate to reach out. I will consult a colleague instead. We now communicate only about the last of the joint finances. No, how are yous? No, remember when. People at the courthouse gossip about how her big romance blew up. Some think I should be gloating. Honestly, I just feel done. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply? The immigration lawyer finally realized she'd filed her own life under temporary, while the man she discarded quietly got permanent peace. Story 14. My ex is a nurse. Night shifts, constant adrenaline, lives on coffee and chaos. When she started hanging out with the new ER doctor, I actually encouraged it at first. Networking, I thought. Then I saw them together at a bar on a night she said she was too tired to come home. He was Plan B, clearly. Tall, confident, hands on her lower back like they'd been there a while. 6 months later, she needed space and moved into an apartment closer to the hospital. The doctor followed. She framed me as the unsupportive husband who never understood hospital life. I watched from afar as they became the hospital's golden couple. They took vacations, posted photos in scrubs with captions like, "Saving lives with my person." One brutally hot July night, my phone buzzed. I was half asleep on the couch, fan blasting, dog snoring at my feet. He blocked me. Literally blocked me from his phone, his email, even removed me from the group chat. He said I weaponized my trauma and dumped me in the hospital parking lot before his shift. After everything I did for him, she kept going. I covered shifts. I helped him study for boards. I even lied to HR for him once. I can't believe he would throw me away like this. Then she pivoted like they all do. You were always solid. Boring, but solid. You would never do this. Can I crash on your couch a few nights? I just need to not be alone. I looked around my tiny rented place. Yeah, it was boring. Plants, dishes, laundry basket, but it was calm. I thought about the night she came home smelling like his cologne and told me to be a man when I cried. About how she told our friends I was dramatic for being upset about her emotional affair. I put the phone down and went to take a cold shower. When I came back, the message field was filled with, "Say something. Please don't do this to me too. I know I don't deserve it, but I always thought you'd be there if everything else crashed." That last line was the truth, and the reason I didn't answer. She always assumed I'd be there no matter what she did, like gravity or clean sheets. I texted her sister instead. She's in a bad place. Maybe check on her. I can't. Now, months later, I hear through mutuals that she's in therapy, finally dealing with some of her own patterns. Some say I was cruel for not offering her a couch. Others say I should have changed my locks the day she met him. All I know is the ER doctor blocked her, and for once, I didn't rush in to triage the emotional mess. Story 15. I'm the one who married up, according to everyone. She was stunning, outgoing, the life of every party. I was not quiet IT guy, happy with video games and Sunday breakfasts. When she met Plan B at her gym, a personal trainer with 1 million followers, it was like watching a magnet pull steel. Suddenly, every conversation was about macros and engagement rates. She started posting couple workout videos, healthy relationship content, and soft launching him as my person, while I was still sleeping on the couch upstairs. By the time she asked for a divorce, the internet had already decided I was the lazy ex holding her back. I signed. She moved into his high-rise apartment. I moved into a cheap rental with spotty Wi-Fi. Then TikTok turned on them. Comments pointed out his sketchy meal plans, his old tweets, his DMs to other women. Brands started dropping him. Her views dropped too. One night, around 2 a.m., my phone lit up with a number I'd muted but never blocked. He blocked me. Deleted me from our joint page, changed the password, wiped me from all our videos. Says my energy is bad for the brand. I gave up everything for him. I helped him rebuild after those scandals. And he just erased me like I'm nothing. I scrolled. You at least treated me like a person even when you were boring. I'm sorry I said that, by the way. Can we talk? Just as friends? Then she sent a screenshot of their shared account, now featuring a new girl in the thumbnail. I feel sick. Everyone is already commenting, asking where I went. I want to explain, but he blocked me on the admin. You were always good with words. Can you help me write something? That's what she wanted from me. Crisis PR. Not reconciliation, not apology. She wanted free damage control. I opened a blank message and wrote, "You told millions of people I was dead weight. You left. You replaced me on camera before the papers were signed. I rebuilt quietly. You did loudly. Now you want my words?" Then I deleted it. Instead, I turned my phone face down, opened my laptop, and kept coding. The next morning, I had coffee on my balcony while the sun came up over a parking lot instead of a skyline. It was still peaceful. She eventually posted a teary 3-minute video about outgrowing people, vaguely painting herself as the victim of online manipulation. I didn't watch the whole thing. Friends sent me snippets. Some commenters defended her. Some called her out. Nobody knew my name. For the first time, that felt like a win. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply either? The influencer who loved the spotlight had to face her worst nightmare. A downfall where the one man she'd always assumed would stand in the shadows, ready to catch her, simply stepped out of frame. Story 16. She didn't just cheat with Plan B. She moved into the house right behind mine with him. He was our contractor. He renovated our kitchen, charmed her with, "You deserve better than this old layout," then apparently decided she deserved better than her husband, too. By the time I figured it out, she'd already packed her things and walked through the backyard gate into his place. I kept the house, she kept the contractor. For a year, I had to watch their life through my own kitchen window. His truck in the driveway, their Sunday barbecues, her laughing the way she stopped laughing with me years ago. Neighbors quietly took sides. I became the guy whose wife left him for the contractor, a walking cautionary tale. Then one night, around midnight, a text. He blocked me. I'm in the driveway and he won't even open the door. Then a photo of his truck gone, and her suitcase on the lawn. He said I drain him, that I complain nonstop, that I used him to escape my boring life and now I'm too much work. He left and blocked my number. Next, I can see your light is on. Please, can I come inside? Just to talk. I don't want to stand out here alone. I know I don't deserve it. But you know me better than anyone. I walked to the back door. Through the blinds, I could see her silhouette by the fence we used to share, crying, phone in hand. A year earlier, I would have run out there with a blanket. Instead, I locked the deadbolt. My phone buzzed again. Please don't do what he did. Just say something. Even if you hate me. I put the phone on the table and went to bed. The next morning, her car was gone. Later, a neighbor told me her brother picked her up. Rumor is she moved in with her parents 2 towns over. Some neighbors think I was cruel. Others remember hearing me yell cry in the garage the night she left. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply? For once, the man whose life she remodeled without asking left the mess on the curb and let someone else deal with it. Story 17. My ex weaponized the word abuse on her way out. When she met Plan B, her married boss, she reframed our entire marriage to fit her new plot. Suddenly, I was controlling because I asked why he texted at 2 a.m. Emotionally abusive, because I cried when she said she might be in love with someone else. In HR, in court, with friends, she painted herself as the survivor escaping a cruel husband for healthy love. She got the apartment downtown, the promotion, the new wardrobe. I got supervised visitation for a while and a reputation. 2 years later, I'm finally on the other side. Unsupervised time with my daughter, steady job, a small circle of friends who stuck it out. I haven't heard from my ex outside the parenting app for months. Then, a regular text, middle of the night. He blocked me. He left his wife for real this time, only to go back 2 days later. He says I ruined his life and he needs to fix his marriage. He blocked my number, my email, everything. Then, they're calling me the homewrecker now. His wife sent me screenshots of him blaming everything on me. Everyone at work looks at me like I'm trash. A beat. I know I said things about you that weren't fair. I was angry and trying to justify what I did. I'm so sorry. Can you talk to me? Just as someone who actually knows I'm not a monster, my chest tightened. Part of me wanted to blast back. You called me an abuser so you could run off with your affair partner. Deal with it. Another part remembered the girl I married at 19, not the woman who testified against me. But then I pictured the judge reading those statements. The way my daughter's teacher looked at me the first time we met, like she was trying to see if I matched the story. I put the phone down. She sent one more. If you ignore me too, then maybe they were right about me all along. Maybe not. Either way, it wasn't my job to fix it. In the morning, I sent a single message in the parenting app. I'll pick up daughter at 10 as scheduled. Nothing else. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply? The survivor had to sit alone with the story she wrote, and the man she cast as the villain finally stopped auditioning for any role in her drama. Story 18. I lost my kids long before a judge ever said the words primary custody. My ex spent a year poisoning them against me to justify leaving. She told them I didn't love her anymore, that I made her feel small, that she had to leave or daddy would make her sad forever. Then she introduced Plan B, a fun uncle type, as someone who really understands mommy. Soon, they were calling him by a nickname, drawing him in their pictures. I became the guy they visited. He became the guy they lived with. I swallowed it. Paid support. Showed up on my days. Then one weekend, drop-off was delayed. No message in the app. 2 hours later, my phone buzzes outside the app. He blocked me. He packed his things and moved out while the kids were at school. He left a note saying he's not cut out to play dad and blocked me on everything. Then, the kids are devastated. They're asking where he is. I can't stop crying. Can you please come over and help me tell them? They listen to you. I can't do this alone. I stared at that. This is the same woman who told those kids I gave up on the family when she announced her affair. The same kids who, last Christmas, asked if they could spend more time at Plan B's house because he takes us to cool places. Part of me wanted to rush over just to be there for them. But I knew how that scene would go. Me comforting my ex while she sobbed about being abandoned. Her conveniently forgetting to mention she'd once been the one doing the abandoning. Instead, I responded in the app, "I'm available if the kids want to call me. I can talk to them on video tonight." She wrote back, "That's not the same, and you know it." Maybe. But them seeing me as the emergency emotional janitor for her bad choices wouldn't help either. That night, I sat on video chat while my son asked, "Why did he leave us if we were good?" And my daughter asked if I would ever leave again. I told them the truth. Grown-ups make choices that aren't about kids. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I never replied to her late-night texts that followed. "You could have saved me. I thought you'd always show up. Now I know how you felt." What happened when Plan B bailed and I refused to be the cleanup crew? My kids learned who actually sticks around. And their mom had to answer some questions without a scapegoat standing next to her. Story 19. My ex was the golden child in a very loud, very dramatic family. When she left me for Plan B, a DJ she met at her cousin's wedding, her relatives turned it into a telenovela. Overnight, I became the boring ex-husband who never appreciated her fire. And he was the exciting new lead. She moved in with him, blocked half her family for judging, and kept the ones who applauded every impulsive decision. 2 years later, most of those cheerleaders were gone. Plan B's gigs dried up. He started drinking more, working less. Her Instagram went from daily stories to the occasional quote about healing. Then, one night at 3 a.m., my phone. He blocked me. After I covered rent for 3 months. After I begged my parents to give him a chance. He took his equipment and left while I was at work. He said he never wanted to be domesticated. Then, I called Mama and she said I made my bed. My brother hung up on me. "You're the only person who ever stayed calm when I exploded. Can you please talk to me? I feel like everyone hates me." Old me would have driven over just to prevent her from doing something reckless. New me had spent 2 years in therapy learning that rescuing her from herself wasn't nobility. It was codependency. I thought about her parents who had cried in my kitchen after she left, apologizing for how she treated me. About her brother, who helped me move my stuff into a 1-bedroom apartment. Those people she was now saying hate her? They just ran out of ways to protect her from her own choices. I turned my phone off and went back to sleep. In the morning, mutual cousin posted a family group chat screenshot. Yeah, they're messy. My ex begging for someone to be on her side. Everyone telling her some version of, "We love you, but we're done saving you." For once, my name wasn't in the thread. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I stayed out of it? The golden child finally discovered what it feels like when the spotlights go off and nobody rushes in with a fresh script. Not her family, not her ex-husband, not the DJ who loved her fire until it burned him too. Story 20. Ours started as a stupid online thing and still somehow wrecked a real marriage. She got into gaming during lockdown. At first it was harmless. Animal Crossing, some cozy farm game. Then she joined a Discord server for a competitive shooter and met Plan B. A guy with a deep voice, good aim, and endless hours to play. Late nights turned into private calls. Private calls turned into, we just understand each other. I became the roommate. Then, the problem. 6 months later, she packed up and moved 2 states away to live with a man she'd met through a headset. Everyone told me it would implode in weeks. It didn't. They streamed together, got donations, built a tiny online audience. She messaged me once to say she hoped we could be friends someday. I muted the chat and disappeared. 2 years later, my phone lights up with a number I barely recognize. He blocked me on literally everything. Discord, Steam, Twitch, my phone. He moved out while I was at my part-time job and left a note saying he needs a break from my mental health issues. Then, he changed the stream name, deleted all our VODs, and told our followers I was taking time to work on myself. People are DMing me like I had some breakdown. I'm humiliated. A pause. "You were always patient with my anxiety. You never made me feel crazy. I am so sorry for what I did. I'm not asking to get back together. I just don't know who else to call. Can you talk to me?" It stung, because that was true. I was the one who stayed calm through panic attacks, who learned grounding techniques, who went to couples therapy she later mocked. I'd done the work with her, right up until she decided a guy with a better KD ratio was her soulmate. I opened our old text thread. The last message from me was 2 years ago. I hope you find what you're looking for. I can't be here while you do. I stared at my new blank message for a full minute, then closed the app. That night, I queued up the same game she used to love. New account, new handle, random teammates. No one knew my story. Between rounds, I saw that she'd posted a vague tweet about online relationships and being thrown away. Her replies were full of strangers telling her to stay strong, queen. What happened when Plan B blocked her and the ex-husband she left for him didn't answer either? The woman who blew up a real life for a fantasy finally had to sit in the loading screen alone. No backup, no healer, no default tank soaking up damage she'd chosen all by herself. Story 21. My ex didn't leave me for some young gym bro or coworker. She left me for a mentor. He was a 50-something business coach who ran those weekend seminars about feminine abundance. She went to one, came back glowing, and suddenly every problem in our marriage was my scarcity mindset. Within months, he was her spiritual partner. She divorced me, moved into his penthouse, and started posting reels about discarding low-vibration partnerships. I was the low vibration. I swallowed it. Paid alimony, downsized, rebuilt. My friends sent me her posts sometimes. I muted them all. Then one night, almost a year later, my phone buzzes nonstop. He blocked me. He cut me off from everything. He seized my access to the business accounts, said I was energetically draining the brand. He replaced me with a 25-year-old muse. She sent screenshots of his messages. You were a transformational chapter, not my final partner. You're too attached. This is no longer aligned. Do not contact me again. Then her message. I believed him when he said you were holding me back. I let him call you dead weight. I'm so sorry. I have no money and no friends left in this city. Please just talk to me. She followed with, I know you probably hate me. I would, if I were you. But for 10 years you were my best friend. Can you just be that one last time? I stared at it. Remembered the night she served me divorce papers on neutral ground at a cafe, while he waited outside in a Tesla. She told me my fear was blocking her expansion. Now her expansion had tossed her out like a failed investment. For a split second I considered calling. Not because I want her back, but because hearing someone sound that broken hurts, even if they broke you first. Then I thought about my current apartment. Small, quiet, paid for with money I earned without being told I was vibrationally stuck. Thought about the way she'd weaponized therapy buzzwords to make me the villain in her story. I turned my phone over, screen down. She kept going. You're really not going to answer? After everything we were? You're just like him. In the morning, there was one last text. I get it. I finally know what it feels like to be discarded. There's probably people reading this who think I should have shown compassion. Others will say she deserved worse. All I know is, I refused to become her emotional rebound coach after she fired me as a husband. Story 22. We had an open marriage. That was her idea, not mine. I agreed because I was terrified that if I said no, she'd leave anyway. At first it was rules, spreadsheets, radical honesty. Then she met Plan B at a poly meetup. Smooth, charming, already dating 3 people. He told her I was monogamy-brained and limiting her growth. Soon our openness went one way. My dates were threats, hers were freedom. Plan B became her primary. I became the roommate who paid most of the rent. Eventually, she told me she couldn't unsee how misaligned we were and filed for divorce. They moved into a big queer share house. I moved into a studio and went monogamous again, alone. A year later at 1 a.m., I get a wall of texts. He blocked me from all our group chats. He told the polycule I'm toxic and codependent. He said I weaponize my depression. They all unfollowed me. Even people I thought were my friends. I have no one. Then, you always listened. Even when I was exploring things you didn't want. You were kind even when I hurt you. Can we talk? I'm not asking to get back together. I just need one person in the world who doesn't think I'm a monster. I won't lie. That hit hard. I don't think she's a monster. I think she's a chronically selfish, scared person who hides behind theory words to avoid accountability. There's a difference. I imagine the comments this post will get. Poly people are trash. Versus, this is why monogamy is abusive. People love picking teams. But in that moment, it wasn't about poly versus mono. It was about the fact that when she chased ethical non-monogamy, the least ethical part was how she treated the one person who had promised to love her through boring, unsexy life. I typed, I'm sorry you're hurting. Please reach out to a therapist or hotline, then deleted it. Because we both know what would happen. One conversation turns into late-night calls, which turn into coffee, as friends, which turns into her trauma spilling all over my tiny, hard-won piece. So I didn't answer at all. The next day, a mutual friend texted, "She's telling people you ghosted her when she needed you." "Just so you know," I wrote back, "I'm not obligated to be her safe harbor after she set my house on fire," and left it there. What happened when Plan B blocked her and I didn't reply either? The woman who preached abundance of love finally collided with the reality that you can't treat people like infinitely renewable resources without something or someone running out.